Right, so hello and welcome back to Books and Things, and welcome to another video, and welcome back to my TBR Advent Calendar. Excuse my wet hair, I'm filming this early in the morning, but I don't have any other time, I think, to film this today, though I hopefully will have time to read a book today. If you want to know more about my TBR Advent Calendar, I'll leave some links down below explaining what I'm doing. And my TBR Advent Calendar, my Vlogmas this year, is also very kindly sponsored by serious readers who make reading lights like this one, which I really love and use a lot. I will leave some links down below to where you can find out more about them, as well as the offer code I have on at the moment. But anyway, let me get on to picking today's book. What do we have today? Oh yes, I'm excited for this one. We have A Beleaguered City by Margaret Oliphant, which is a Victorian novel, quite a short novel, that I believe is one of Margaret Oliphant's like ghost stories, fantasy stories, supernatural stories in some way. So I'm quite excited for that. I've read a lot of her realism, and I have read a few of her ghost stories, but short stories, not a novel. And I think this will be a really interesting read. It is a bit longer. It's 120 pages, but the text is quite small. So I'm not 100% confident that I will manage to finish this today because I'm quite busy. I will check back in when I have finished this book. Hello again, I'm back, and I did indeed manage to finish off A Beleaguered City today, which I enjoyed. This was a strange novel, but I quite liked it. I feel like I don't like Margaret Oliphant's like supernatural stuff quite as much as I like her realism. I read a collection of her ghost stories last year, The Open Door and Other Stories, and I think there were 5 stories in that, and one of them, The Library Window, I thought was fantastic, and the other 4 didn't quite do it for me. And I feel like this novel was a bit of a similar sort of mixed bag, and I feel like there were some bits that I thought were really powerful and really interesting, and other bits that just fell a little bit flat for me. So this is a Victorian novel from the 1870s, but it's not set in Britain, it's set in France, in a cathedral city. And it's about what happens to the mayor and various other people when one day they wake up in the morning and there's no sun and there's this massive shadow over the city, and the dead have risen up and come back as spirits, and some people can see them but not that many people can see them, but some people can kind of like, they're aware of their presence. Margaret Oliphant kind of used this as a way to write about religion and grief, and I suppose about letting go of people that you've lost, maybe. As I said, the mayor is kind of like the main character, and him and his wife, we know relatively early on, have lost one of their children a little while back, and there's also a man whose wife has passed away. So I feel like the way Margaret Oliphant uses this sort of like supernatural story to look at grief was quite interesting, but I feel like there were a few moments in the book that I thought were fantastic and really moving, and then the others kind of weren't as interesting. Like definitely I prefer Hester and the Carlingford Chronicles to this, but I did find it a really interesting book. I'll also quickly mention the publisher of this edition, Victoria's Archives, who make really lovely editions of out-of-print Victorian novels. I will leave the publisher link down below. The books are all printed and published and distributed through Amazon. There's quite a lot of different titles that are otherwise out of print, and you know, like often if you order an out of print edition of a book that you can't find anywhere else, the text is like really illegible and really annoying, and it's just really hard to read, and this is very much not the case. The font is normal and readable, and the format is just really nice, and the footnotes are really good as well, and I really like these, so I wanted to quickly mention that. And also, while I'm here talking about A Beleaguered City, I will also quickly show you some exciting book posts, because Victoria's Archive very kindly sent me a couple of books. And here I have the new Magdalena by Wilkie Collins, and Isabel Clarendon by George Gissing, and I'm really looking forward to both of these, so very, very exciting to have these, and very kind of Victoria's Archives to send me these too, and I'm really looking forward to them. And actually, while I'm talking about book posts, I'm going to show you 2 other review copies I got. I was very kindly sent some nice Jane Austen editions by Penguin Classics, who are producing some new Jane Austen editions in celebration of Jane Austen's 250th birthday. So I was very kindly sent a copy of Pride and Prejudice, which is a very nice edition, and they're sort of nice, relatively small hardbacks. They're very nice under the dust jacket, actually. I haven't taken off the dust jacket yet. And I have Pride and Prejudice and my other favourite, Jane Austen, Mansell Park, because, you know, you can never have too many editions of Jane Austen books. Okay, now I've shared my book post and my review, I will wrap this video up. But thank you very much for checking in for another day of the TBR Advent Calendar, and I'll be back tomorrow with another bookish video.